Have you ever been in a room and wondered what's really going on inside the head of the quietest person there? Well, today, we're diving deep into the psychology of the silent observer. So let's start with a question you've probably asked yourself before. Think about it. You're in a meeting, maybe a classroom, or just hanging out with friends, and it's always the person who seems to have the most insightful things to say who says almost nothing at all. What is up with that? Why do the smartest people in the room so often say the least?
Most of us, we just assume that silence means someone is shy or they lack confidence. But what if it's the complete opposite? What if that quiet is actually a huge strategic power move? That's the first big idea we really need to wrap our heads around. So, what is actually happening in that silence? Because it is definitely not empty space. Nope. While everyone else is busy talking, the silent observer is processing. They aren't just waiting for their turn to speak, they are operating on a totally different level.
This deep processing, it's a real skill. You could almost call it an art form. So let's pull back the curtain on this art of observation and see what's actually going on during those moments of quiet. And there's a name for this. It's called active observation. And trust me, it is anything but passive. It's this really intense mental process where you're analyzing everything beyond the actual words being said. It's like you're a detective gathering intelligence on the whole conversation. And check out the kind of data points they're collecting. This isn't just about hearing words. It's about seeing all the invisible stuff going on. They're picking up on the emotional temperature of the room, they're spotting the little flaws in someone's logic, and they're understanding the unspoken assumptions and the real group dynamics, like who actually has the influence here. It's a whole other layer of information that most of us just completely miss. Now, this ability to kind of step back and analyze everything, it's not just some personality quirk. It's a real cognitive skill, and psychologists have a name for it, cognitive reflection. It's basically the science behind that powerful strategic pause. So what exactly is cognitive reflection? Well, to put it simply, it's the ability to hit the pause button on your own brain. It's all about resisting that gut reaction, that first instinct to just blurt something out, and instead questioning it. That's what creates the space for much deeper, more useful thought. And this chart just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you have the impulsive reaction, right? You speak first, you just accept things at face value, and you're only focused on what is being said. But with cognitive reflection, you pause first, you question those instincts, and you shift your whole focus from what is said to how and, more importantly, why it's being said. It is a total game changer. Okay, so all this theory is super interesting, but how do we actually use it? Let's get practical here. Let's talk about how you can turn this idea of strategic silence into your own personal power move. I want you to just let this one sink in for a second. Talking less is a power move. Seriously, when you speak less, every single word you say carries more weight. People see you as more thoughtful, more deliberate, and ultimately way more influential. So how do you do it? Well, it really boils down to this simple four-step process. First, you pause. Just fight that urge to jump in right away. Second, you question. Take a hard look at your own gut reaction. Ask yourself, is there another way to see this? Third, observe. Use that pause to gather all that rich data we were talking about, the tone, the emotions, the logic. And finally, number 4, respond. Because when you do finally speak, it's going to be with real intention and insight, which makes your words hit so much harder. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Silence isn't empty. It's not a void. It's actually a space that's full of answers, the kind of answers that other people are just too busy talking to ever find. So I'm going to leave you with a final thought to chew on. The next time you're in a conversation, just try it. Embrace that strategic pause and ask yourself, what will you notice when you stop planning what you're going to say next and you start to truly listen?